Hi there, welcome to session 4 of part 2, and in part 2 we are adding content to our document. Now in the previous 3 sessions we have started to add some basic content with headings, and we've added some figures and we've added some tables. So what we are going to add now is we are going to add cross-references to those figures and tables and headings. And cross-references is just an easy way for you to keep track of what is happening, or the references that you put into the document to a figure or a table without you having to go into the document physically and update all those different cross-references. So whenever you insert a figure, you want to talk about that figure in your or explain what that figure is about in your document. You do not just randomly insert figures and leave your audience or the person who's going to read your document to wonder why that figure is there or what is the purpose of a table or anything like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to insert a figure. This is our document that we've been using up until now. So as usual, before I'm going to start, I'm just going to save it again. There our document is saved. So I'm going to insert, this is figure 1.1 that we've inserted in our second session. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert a cross-reference to this figure, explaining what this figure is about. So we're going to say, as illustrated in, and now instead of saying figure 1.1, of course you can do that. The problem with this is, however, if you're going to physically write out every figure and I want to add a new figure, as you work on your document, at some stage you may want to add figures or delete figures, or add more tables or add new paragraphs. Now, if you've already cross-referenced something like this, you will have to physically go into your document and search for all those references and go and update them one by one. Now, with cross-referencing, or using the cross-referencing feature in Word, Word will automatically update this as you insert new figures into your tables or paragraphs or whatever into your document. So let me illustrate that. So we've said as illustrated in, and we want to insert as a cross-reference, and there's two ways to do that. I'm going to show you both. We will go to insert, home, insert. You'll see right there in the middle you'll have an option that says links, and under that there's cross-reference. So we'll click on cross-reference, and then you can go and select. There's different types of reference types that you can select in Word. In this case we want to select a figure because we're going to cross-reference to a figure. We don't want to use the entire caption. Entire caption means it will show figure 1.1 first cycle of something. We want to reference this as only figure 1.1. So we're going to select here, insert reference to, only the label and the number. So we only want to use that label that is figure 1.1. So let me show what that looks like. And I'm going to say insert, and you will see there as illustrated in figure 1.1, and that is below, and I'm not going to end because let's assume the rest of the sentence then explain figure 1.1. Now, let's say we add another figure. This is what I want to illustrate to you. So let's say we add another figure. So I'm going to add a little bit of smart art. Let's just add a process, and we're going to do something simple. I'm going to say insert caption. Remember the caption. Now look at this. Immediately it renumbers, it makes this 1. Remember, because this is going to be the new figure 1 in our chapter. I've inserted this before our other figure. So caption is going to be 1.1. Everything else is still okay. I'm going to click on OK, and there is our new figure, and let's just call it process figure as illustration. Let's enter our source. We're going to once again say this is the author's compilation. And now look at figure 1.1, and immediately Word has gone and updated figure 1.2 to its new number. So this is no longer figure 1.1. Remember, previously this was figure 1.1, and Word is automatically gone and updated this to figure 1.2. However, it has not yet updated our figure 1.1 there as the cross-reference. Okay, so what happens now? Let me show you when I select everything in this sentence. You may be able to see that this part is a lighter shade of gray than figure 1.1. Now that just simply means that this is some little bit of coding that Word has inserted in the background to illustrate or show that this is a field, that now it is no longer just a reference, it is a field in Word, a little bit of maybe background programming, if you want to call it that, of referencing to a specific figure in Word. Now in order to update that, you can do that once off by selecting everything in your document, and I like to do that whenever I'm finished with a document. I'll just click Control A, and that will select everything in your document. Or if you know that this figure needs to be updated, you can right click on that and click Update Field, and you will see it will update to figure 1.2. Let me illustrate the other way to do that. I'm going to click Control Z to go back. Now that will go back to figure 1.1. I'm going to click Control A to select all the text in my document. As you can see, all the text in the document has now been selected. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly click anywhere and just say right click, Update Field, and you will see as illustrated 1.2. That Control A, it will go through your entire document and update all your cross references. It will update everything that has happened in your document. So let's insert one more cross reference. Maybe we want to put in a cross reference for our table, and let's use our table in chapter 2. So in our table in chapter 2, we will put that there. Summarized in, and that's going to be table 2.2. So I said there are two ways of adding cross references, and I'm going to show you the other way to do that right now. So we're going to click on reference. Remember, with the previous one we've clicked on insert, and a cross reference was right there in the middle. The other way to insert your cross reference is to go to references. Remember, this is a reference. We'll go to references, and we'll go to caption. So all of these are captions, so we want to cross reference to a caption, and we're going to say cross reference. We'll click on cross reference. Now this is not a figure, so we'll go and have to look for the table. We want to cross reference to a table. And once again, we don't want the entire caption. We only want that table 2.2. So I will select only the label and the number, and I'll say table 2.1. Click on that, insert, close, as summarized in table 2.1. And as you can see, now when I select this, that little piece of coding or background programming or reference has now been added there to reference to table 2.1. I want to show you one last thing. So let's say you're in chapter 2 or 3 or 4, where you start to explain some of the stuff that you've done in your literature review, and in this literature review maybe there's something that we want to reference in chapter 1. And then what we can say is in paragraph 1.2.1, so we can go and insert that in your literature. So let's insert that as a cross-reference. Maybe we want to reference something in paragraph 1.2.2.2 that was done in chapter 1. So very much the same way that we've inserted our other references, we can also now insert that. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to say click on insert, click on cross-reference. And what we want to cross-reference is we want to cross-reference a specific heading. Now that heading will be 1.2.2.2. So we'll click on that. Do we want the insert reference to the heading text? So let's enter, because it's in a new chapter, we want to insert a little bit more. So we're going to start with the heading number. I'm going to say insert. Say 1.2.2 has been entered. I also want to include the heading text, and I'm going to insert that. And maybe I also want to include the page number, and I'll insert that. Right. Okay. So now, as you can see, everything has been inserted as one long, because we didn't put in any spaces yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the spaces here. Say, please refer to section 1.2.2. That we will maybe give a little italic in. Select that and make that italics. And remember, we said that is on page 4 of this report. So what we've done now, all of them, and let me highlight the sentence, and then we can see all the different parts, and there we go. So what we've got please refer to section 1.2.2, that is that, over part 2 sub 2, that is our next bit, and then page 4, that is the last bit of our reference. And in that way, you can add any reference. You can add a reference to different sections, you can add references to tables, you can add references to figures, and if you decide to move something, or insert a new reference, or insert a new paragraph, or insert a new table somewhere else in your document, and you click on Control A, right click, update field, then all of these fields will be updated automatically, showing where that is in your document, because you've cross-referenced it or linked this bit to the other bit in your document. And that is it. Thank you.